Welcome, Dave Nelson.
All right, thanks. For most of my life, I've been the weirdo, the outsider, the nerd, except for brief moments when I've been cool. Brief moments. Yet I'm going to tell you guys, I never changed. I've always been the same guy. You have changed. Let me give you some examples. In the third grade, I invented a game called What Would You Do? During sleepovers, I would tell other third graders things like, we've been invited to Richie Rich's house to have a birthday party at his mansion. And then they would tell me what they would do, and we'd have a whole little adventure. Or I'd say, Darth Vader and the stormtroopers are invading, and we only have garage can lids and sticks. And we would fight them and we would win, and those third graders thought I was cool. In the third grade, I was cool. In the fourth grade, do you know what kids wanted to do? At night, they didn't want my what would you do stories. They wanted to go toilet papering. At 1 a.m, we were 10, and I had told them all kinds of stories about monsters. We had no business going outside. But they did, and now I went from cool to an uncool coward. I was a nerd. I was an outsider. Don't invite him to your birthday sleepover. He'll want to stay up asking you what you would do. And I remained a nerd until the 6th grade, 1981, and Dungeons and Dragons came out. And everybody wanted to play D&D, and who could be a dungeon master better than the kid who invented What Would You Do? And in the 6th grade, I was cool. I had all the books, the modules, the dice. I was ready to go. But even then, I knew this was not going to last. I can remember leaving my friend's house, and I had to go by this kid named Hawkins' house, and he was muscular and big, a year older, but it might as well have been 6 years. And he would say, you better run before I kick your ass. And I would run and drop my books and drop my dice and drop my folders and pick them up, and he would laugh. And I thought to myself, this cool thing is not going to last. And I was right. In middle school, my D&D friends discovered girls. They did. And nobody wants to play D&D if girls don't want to play D&D. Why would we play What Would You Do or roll dice about your dragons when there are people with real breasts out there? They may even have vaginas on our very block. And I was weird and I was nerdy. I can remember my friend standing next to me, and he had the best line ever. And he said, you know, this is true. In the 80s, if you were weird and nerdy, you were also gay, according to bullies. Because weird and different was called gay. And he'd say to me, the worst thing about them thinking that we're gay, the worst thing, we take all the shit, and we have no chance of ever getting a blowjob from somebody who really knows their way around a penis. And that made so much sense to me. Because nerds are cool. We know things. We know things. My wife hates that part of the story. Now, this lasted, this nerdiness. One day I took my daughter to a D&D store. We went in there and kids are playing on the games, and I want her to like it, and she's 12, and all the boys turn and look at her, and she says, Dad, this is a nerd place. Let's get out of here. And I thought, my own daughter, my own darn daughter is one of them. I see you. But I've noticed something in recent years. The other day I was at work, and there were people, and I asked, what are you doing? And they say, we play D&D on Fridays at lunch. And they were girls. I went to a convention once where I wore like a costume, and there were people there, and they wore costumes, and some of them were girls. And there are places, you won't believe this, there are places where you gather once a month, and nerdy people come on stage and tell stories. And everybody laughs and no one yells, nerd. But guys, I didn't change. You joined me. You came over. And what you don't understand is the hard work that we put in to make this happen. Nerds like me, damn it, we built this room. We persevered through the 80s and the 90s, and we created this. I want you to look around the room. We're hard to tell at first because you look like us now. But we are here, and we made this possible. And we want some goddamn gratitude. Thank you.